Hello. Jordan, she requested me to do a video on mental hunger, so I'm gonna try to answer all her questions. Okay, so she starts off and says, I'm 10 months into recovery, but still think of food all the time and still don't have strong hunger cues, like how you're supposed to. That's one of my questions. Okay, so if you don't have strong physical hunger cues, I can kind of relate to that. Like, to be honest, I only started learning what hunger cues were in recovery because I only started feeling kind of hungry when I started eating. But before that, I was thinking about food, but I wasn't actively like hungry. I don't know. Not the type of hungry where my stomach will growl or something like that. But yeah, if you think of food, and there's Tabitha Farrar, I watch her videos so often in recovery, and she says that everything related kind of to food, to exercise, to body image, if you think too much, or if you even think about it at all, that means that you're hungry. So when she was in recovery, what she did was whenever, for example, she would think about maybe, oh, I should go for a run, she didn't. Instead, she ate. And if, I don't know, if you think like, oh, I look a little bit fat or whatever, then you should just eat. Or, of course, if you think, yeah, food, blah, 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 if you think of pasta or whatever, you should eat it. And then also there's other mental hunger cues, like if you watch a lot of what I eat in a days or 10,000 calorie challenges and stuff like that, that's also very typical mental hunger. So all of these things are mental hunger, not only the typical thinking about food. And what happens very often to a lot of people, and it also happened to me, was that yeah, maybe we don't have really these typical hunger cues, and 10 months is rather late, but still, I mean, in the end, it's your recovery. Everyone's recovery is different, but your body maybe doesn't manage to give you normal hunger cues yet. So the only or the easiest way for your body to give you hunger cues is just by making you think about food or food related things, or ED related things like exercise. So yeah, that was the first question. And then she's like, how do you know the difference between just thinking about food and mental hunger? No difference, in my opinion. Like, if you even now, like when I start thinking about food, I'm like, okay, I should eat, and then I eat. Of course, if, for example, the only times when I talk about food with people and I'm not hungry, it's maybe when we're planning a dinner or something, then that's not mental hunger. But when you're just sitting there scrolling through Instagram and then suddenly you start thinking about food, that's definitely mental hunger. Yeah, just really take anything as a sign for you to be hungry. And yeah. Oh, and there's one more. Sometimes when I'm eating, I want to continue eating, but also stop. Half of me says stop, the other half says go. I think it's mostly because the taste of a certain food may be good, and I don't want to stop eating. Then again, maybe this is extreme hunger. What do you think? Continue eating, really. Continue eating until you lose interest in eating it. If even 5% of you say, I want to continue eating, then just continue eating. Because if you, for example, eat something that might seem scary, like a pizza, but then you don't allow yourself to eat the whole thing, even though you would kind of want to. And I mean, yeah, let's say you feel physically a little bit full, and you're like, okay, no, that means I'm full, I should stop eating. But then you do want to continue eating, like something in you wants to continue eating. Continue eating. That's, I think, one of the key things in recovery that a lot of people don't do correctly, and that's why they're stuck in recovery for so long, because you really And that sounds really bad, but you have to stuff yourself a lot to actually recover, because you have to overcome any fears of gaining weight, and your body really has to realize that there's abundance in food, so you just have to eat like crazy. And yeah, I mean, it depends. At the beginning I got very, very full and sick, but that's what I needed to. Like, I really needed to eat a lot of food, and amounts that were crazy. And sometimes I felt super sick and full, but still something in me wanted to continue eating. And then I continued eating. And it sounds a little bit like binge eating, but that's essentially what you need to do in recovery. I don't know, like binging in recovery is just a natural thing, because your body needs huge amounts of calories to make up for the time that you didn't have enough energy, and it needs to. I mean, this woman Tabitha, she always explains it like, imagine you're for some time unemployed, let's say 2 years. 2 years you don't have a job, so because you don't get any money, or only little by the state, I don't know, you need to take up debt to continue being able to live a normal life. So then, as soon as you get a job and start getting money again, you're not gonna go on crazy holidays and spend all the money. No, you're gonna invest the money and try to get as much money to pay back the debt as quickly as possible. So that's exactly the same with hunger or food. So during recovery, increase or continuously, you get like a bigger depth of energy because you don't eat enough, so you get less and less energy. And then, for example, your body needs your energy to keep your heart running, and then it doesn't have time to repair some little things or whatever. So then, as soon as you're in recovery, first of all, your body will make sure that everything keeps going and you gain some weight, but then it starts using that extra energy to repair all of the things that it didn't have the energy for during your ED. And now you're probably thinking like, no, but I already ate so much in my recovery. No, if you still have big hunger, then that just means that you need to eat more. It's as simple as that. It's very difficult to accept, and you always think like, no, but I ate so much and like I already gained so much weight. Okay, but your body is your body. Like, and this hair is really annoying me. In the end, you have to do what your body tells you to, and if you keep thinking about food, that means you need to keep eating a lot of food. And whatever food you think about, no matter what it is, no matter if it's the same food all day long, just eat it. Eat whatever you crave. And then I think there is one last. How do you know if it's mental hunger or you're just craving something because you're binging emotional eating? Oh, I love that question. Because I don't believe in binging emotional eating anymore. I used to very, very much believe in it. I used to think I was just boredom eating all the time. So when I was in high school, I never really ate breakfast, I think, and then I ate normal lunch, and then as soon as I came home, I just had huge hunger. But then I tried to not eat the typical unhealthy foods, but then I was kind of not satisfied with what I ate, so I started eating a lot of first very healthy foods, random healthy foods, and then I started eating what I was craving at first. And then I always thought like I'm just, I don't know, boredom eating or this or that, or I have no control. But looking back, I should have just eaten whatever I crave, and I should have eaten more throughout the day to keep like my energy level high. Because I always had a crash when I came home because I didn't have energy anymore. So of course I wanted to eat a lot. But my point is that you only binge or emotional eat, which I still don't think is a thing, when you're restricting. Like, if you eat enough the whole time, then you won't be binging, no matter what food it is. Um, yeah, I mean, at the beginning of recovery, I mentioned it before, binging is necessary. It's just a natural thing for you to do. It's very, very important that you binge because it's just your body trying to get as much energy as quickly as possible. And over time, you will stop naturally to binge if you don't restrict, obviously. If you start restricting or doing a lot of exercise, you will start binging again. It's very, very simple, actually. Any type of food restriction, whether it is not listening to a little thought of, chocolate, or, as a child, I always ate this and this. When you think something like this, it means you're hungry. Or obviously, if you have normal hunger cues, anything regarding hunger, you have to allow it no matter what it is, how weird, how late, or how early it is, or if it's only been 10 minutes since you ate a huge meal, it doesn't matter. You have to eat, eat, eat. And at some point, you won't have these things anymore. You will just eat normally. And now, sometimes I still have like big hunger, but it's never the same like in recovery or even during my ED, where I also had like little binges because I was restricting so much. But nowadays it's just I eat really whatever I crave, so I just never have the urge to eat overly much. Yeah. So yeah, back to your question. How do you know if it's mental hunger or you're just craving something or you're emotional eating, blah blah? It's just hunger. It's no matter what it is, it doesn't matter. The only important thing for you is to eat, and it's very, very scary. But I promise you, allowing this hunger will lead to a very, very quick recovery. So, yeah, I don't really think emotional eating is a thing. And I also think that binging is a good thing in recovery. It's like a necessary thing. So yeah, I hope that helped you in some way. Yeah. Also, I don't have any makeup on if you were wondering, but probably nobody cares. Yeah, I'm trying to study right now. And yes, I don't know. I'm happy. But lately everyone around me has been talking about like losing weight and it's been annoying me. Like, guys, just live your life. But yeah. Okay, bye bye.